how to 10x your results with 10 lead magnets. So I want to just give you a bit of a background story on this to make it really resonate, because I'm sure a lot of you been there, putting in the hard work, trying your best, and not getting the results that you want to get. And this was like us just a few years back when we were trying to reach out to clients and book meetings in, and we weren't getting as many meetings as we would like. So I want to talk to you about a concept and then share 10 examples of lead magnets that you can use to 10x your results. So this is probably my favorite shape and favorite explanation of something. Now, people describe it in different ways, but the core concept stays the same, which is that in your total addressable market, 1% are ready to buy now, 60% are in an education phase, and 39% are not ready. And this is why these lead magnets work, is because we're not targeting the 1% of buy now, we're targeting the 60% that are in an education phase. They're looking around, they're looking for solutions to their problems, and these are the people that if you just approach straight off the bat and say, hey, buy my stuff, they're not going to be ready yet because they're not ready to make that purchasing decision. But where they are ready is to consume more information, and that's where you can grab their attention. So that's kind of a real core understanding of a fundamental principle that will serve you well both in sales and marketing. My background has always been in sales, so I was always going after that 1%. You understand? So that's probably the majority of the reason why we spent so much time focusing on that one space, because we were really good at doing that. But at the same time, what allowed us to achieve 10x of our results and our output and for our efforts was by starting to understand how we can target and focus on the education phase. So when we did outreach, we would share this information and we'd get tons more responses from it. We built tons more relationship and we was able to book tons more meetings off the back of it. So what are the 10 lead magnets? So the first one I'll start off with is LinkedIn groups. And the reason why I'll start off with this is because it's very easy to start. You can just click a button, start a group, and pretty much you're there. So in terms of effort involved, it's very minimal. Now, if you want to build that group up, then that's another thing. If you want to put content, then that is going to require more effort. But the actual core principle of just starting a group to test it out, it's very simple. The reason why it works is built in value, because if you're going out to people, they understand that if they can connect with like-minded peers, that already that's value built in. So it's very easy to launch. Um, in terms of a message example, you can say, hi, we have recently put together a group to connect like-minded individuals in the space that helps to solve problem X. Would you like me to share a link? So this you can elaborate on, you can make it your own. This just gives you some guidance. I would urge you and encourage you deeply to craft it and curate it to how you want it to feel. Same with all the message examples, but hopefully it gives you a bit of guidance and a bit of a framework to work off the back of. The reason why, or when you would use this, you would use it when you serve a niche that would benefit by being connected together. So if you serve one specific vertical that potentially doesn't have a group, then this is going to be a bit of a blue ocean for you. Now, if you've got a niche that has a lot of groups, what you can consider doing is looking at other ways that you can become one of one. And one of the ways you can do that is by either, if you target the job title, target a job title in an industry. If targeting a job title in an industry, maybe target a job title, industry, and region. And that way you create a really small niche that becomes far more valuable to the people that you go out to. So second lead magnet is LinkedIn Live. So why this is awesome is because it's educational, it's thought leadership. So it gives you an opportunity to demonstrate some of your expertise, and also helps if you have an innovative product to really get the message across as to why you're unique, why you're different, and what makes it so special, and why it's so important for people to understand the nuances. So an example of this is, hi, we have an upcoming LinkedIn event that will solve problem one, two, and three. Would you like me to share a link? And where you'd use this, why you'd use this, you'd have a product that needs additional education on the benefits. So again, if you've got a saturated market, let's say cybersecurity, this works really well in, because typically every product feels or sounds the same until people understand how you're approaching a specific problem and the false beliefs that you've had, and why you've realized they're false beliefs. That gives you an ability to take people through a journey of discovery, much like you have, so that by the end of it they understand why your solution is best. And That's why LinkedIn Lives can work so well. You've also got an audio format of the LinkedIn Live, so it's much more, it's different to a webinar style where it's just sitting down and watching someone speak. It's far more engaging, so people can raise their hands and you can create discussions. If you don't necessarily have a webinar presentation ready to go off the bat, it still gives you a way to start connecting the community and driving value. Um, and this is something very important. Throughout all of this, it's about delivering value up front without asking for anything in return, and that builds equity. Case study, social proof. Of course, it's going to be easy for you to, if you're working with someone already, to go out to other people in that space and demonstrate how you've been able to achieve someone like them the same results, and that builds trust and makes it very easier for them to understand. It's also quick wins because if you get someone on the back of this responding that they want information on that case study, the likelihood of them turning into a new piece of business is very high because they have consumed content based on how been able to achieve a result that they've already shown interest in. So an example of this is, hi, we recently worked with a similar company in your space called X. We helped them go from state one to state two in time frame. So the reason why we're using state one to state two in time frame is that it's the components of value, so time frame, effort involved, where you're getting them from to, and that builds the picture very easily for someone to understand what is in it for them. When you'd use this is when you have proven results with a specific type of customer or company. Again, one of the things that I can drop on the back of this is how you create lookalike audiences. So that's something that's going to be very useful for this kind of strategy because then it will just allow you to create campaigns that go and target exactly who you have worked with, who your most revenue generating clients are already. Um, Number four, I believe, is Loom videos. So easy to consume. So a Loom video is essentially a screen recording like this, where you're taking someone through either a flowchart or diagram. It's very easy to consume. It adds value. It's also low production in terms of you don't have to be some you, production agency to create a very high quality video that gets the point across. And because it's easy to consume, because it's 2 minutes, again, when we talk about the value, components of value, um, time it takes or effort it takes from their side, very low commitment. And if you can promise something in return that is of value to them, they're going to consume it. It also, if you show your face, it builds a connection psychology wise. There's a book called Evolutionary Psychology, and it talks about how the um, digital format is not something that is used our brains are used to, even though it's been around for a little while. Um, it's only been invented in the last 10 years, let's say, that we see people digitally and why you feel some way when something happens to your favorite celebrity, let's say, but you don't really know them in real life. So that same psychological element is why I think when you connect with people on LinkedIn, for example, you get far more engagement and response rates than by email as well, because you see someone's face, you see their story, their background, what they've been doing, and it helps to build a connection far more quicker than by email where there's no face, no background, no history, no story. Example of this, hi, we recently recorded a video to help companies find a better way to solve problem X. It will help you go from state one to state two in time frame. It's the common theme here. Would you like me to share a link? So this can be used when you can showcase a specific way for a prospect to get quick results. So if they watch your video, you want them to be able to get something actionable from it. Again, we're not doing a tech demo. We're showing them how they can achieve a result in a short amount of time. Now you can link this to your solution because if it is genuinely something that they can click, set up, and use straight away, then this is something that you can use. In the e-learning space, for example, we have a client that helps with a specific compliance requirement that has been rolled out recently. And in this instance, it's either a manual way of doing it or a one-click approach with their solution. So in that case, I think that is valuable that you can create a Loom video and use your demo or tech as an example. Um, Surveys. So surveys is great as a lead magnet if you need to do market research. It's going to give you feedback about your target audience and it creates an asset. So off the back of all of that insight that you can get, you can actually package it up and send it back out to them as a way to show your appreciation for them filling out that survey. If you're reaching and targeting senior level professionals, they usually want to hear their own others' opinions about the same topics. So this creates an asset for you going forward that a lot of companies won't have. And you can, again, use a message example like this. Hi, we are gathering insights from leaders in the space about topic X. It will take no more than 60 seconds to fill out, and we'll provide you with insight we gather from the sector. Would you like me to share the link? This is great when you want to understand more about your target audience for new product launches or market pivots. Um, Number seven, I think. Is interviews. So actually going out and suggesting that you sit down for an interview, um, so that you make them the center of attention. Again, you're giving, you're not asking. You're asking that. Well, you're asking for their time, but what you're giving back in return is exposure, is a well-crafted article. It strokes their ego. Everyone likes their ego stroked from time to time, and it creates content and reach for you. Because if you think about it, if someone you reach out to, you interview them, they're much more likely to share it, engage with it, and that's going to get you in front of their audience as well. A messaging example for this is, hi, I'd like to interview you and turn it into a post, then promote it. This means more exposure for you and a great article for us. Is that something you'd be open to? Again, this is brilliant when you need to stand out from the crowd to a high profile crowd. Um, so again, it's all about being different with your approach and building equity. And this does that in spades. I remember one time someone reached out to me and they asked me for my expert opinion to be included in a guide they were putting together, and it did make me feel quite special. So that's something you can use to your own benefit when you're building these relationships. Um, Referral and partnership. So referrals and partnerships is actually seeing ways you can actually incentivize a referral and it generates high quality leads. So getting in front of people that have the same audience as you and showing them or highlighting a way they could potentially increase the amount of revenue they're making from their existing client base, or just might not necessarily be their client base, it might just be their audience, and you're providing a way for that to be monetized. Example, hi, I feel we have a similar audience. I wanted to share a way we could help you increase the value of your client base. Would you like me to send across the info? When you have people, this is great for when you have people in the same audience as yours that can be leveraged. And again, a different route to market, and one that if you don't have a rock solid sales foundation might be a really good approach because referrals pretty much come in with built-in trust and built-in needs. So it's higher close rates. White papers. So this is great because it the benefits are validates findings, it builds authority. So if you've got a specific tool and you can show it's backed by research, backed by data, it builds that credibility, doesn't it? I recently saw this tool and it said backed by 1,500 hours of research, and it grabbed my attention. So um, for thought leaders in space, hi. We recently invested time and resources into research topic X. It covers key areas in space such as area 1, 2, or 3. Would you like me to share? And this is when you've got a sophisticated audience. So people don't just buy off emotion, they buy off logic, and especially so when you're talking about enterprise level. So this is something that you can lead with that helps to back up your solution. Um, and nine, guides. Guides are great. They educate, they build trust and equity. Message example here is, hi, we recently put together a free guide that helps to solve problem X. We cover within this guide topic 1, 2, and 3. Would you like me to share? When you have a deep knowledge of a topic, this is when you want to use it. And the benefit of this, hold on, sorry, I need to put my charger in, is that if you've got a guide, it can be used so much, and it just in itself oozes tons of value and builds that equity. And it also puts you in a position that not as many people are in because not as many people have the time to invest in building out a rock solid guide. And then if they get something valuable from it, you just they want you grab their attention, you keep it because you've just shared something that's mind blowing for them. They're going to want to see it over and over again or be kept up in the loop. So definitely something that can be also leveraged with a newsletter on the back end. So gain access to the book and a newsletter. And that way you can keep that momentum built and sustained once you've shared that um, book. We actually have a Sales 3.0 ebook. And one of the interesting things is that we put it as a just a £5 um, ticket price. But it's very interesting to see people just go to the page and buy it off my YouTube videos or some of my posts, or when people I was in discussions with, they just wanted to understand a bit more about our process, and they would buy the book first before becoming a client. So that was quite interesting. And the last one is competitor followers. So brilliant because they're already customers and awareness about why you're different. So these people are already utilizing the solution or service that you provide, and you can share why you may be more beneficial to these individuals and just highlight that. And that builds their awareness and makes you stand out when it comes to them considering other options. So, example, hi, I noticed you follow company X. I wanted to know if you are exclusive to them or if you are open to other options. The reason people use us is because of competitive advantage. I can share a resource that helps elaborate on this. Would you like me to send it over? Um, Oops, on this when you have a competitive advantage. So that's the tweak we'd have to make there. But that's when you'd use it, is when you know you've got competitors in the space that you have an advantage over, that you can highlight to customers so that they will seriously consider your solution. Now, what I can share, again, two things that I think would be useful is a lookalike audience and also how to identify and grab followers of your competitor accounts. So if you are interested in that, just let me know and I'll make another video on the topic. Cool. Bye for now.